Hello, it's Adedoyin Jaiyesimi here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And let me officially welcome you to the best month of the year. I absolutely love December for many reasons. First of all, being that it's my birthday month, yay me! But beyond that, December is a month where there's just a lot of festivity, people traveling to see family. It's a season of joy, of celebration, of just looking back, of reflecting as well. And I just thought to do this video to share some of the comms career lessons that I learned this year while I was just reflecting on the year, things that I did, things that I wanted to do that I didn't get around to do. We'll talk more about that. What were some of the lessons? Because I believe that it's important to reflect, think about the lessons so that you know that you're going into a new year with a renewed mind, but also you're learning the lessons from the previous year so that you don't make the same mistakes again. So this video, essentially, I'll be sharing some of the lessons that I learned this year, and I do hope that they will be valuable for you. The first lesson that I learned is don't be too quick to count yourself out. This year in my life, and just even the people around me, mentees, senior professionals, friends, colleagues, I just saw how people who were willing to just take a step to apply for something, put themselves forward for an opportunity, even though on the surface it looked unlikely, but they still put themselves forward and then they got that thing. And I was, so many times I would just be like, what if they didn't apply? What if they didn't put their hand up? What if they didn't attend? Just, the way you can just count yourself out. And the one that happened to me recently was a global brief that I saw it. And it wasn't even that I counted myself out. I really just didn't want to go through the effort of putting together the proposal. I wasn't sure I wanted to take on that kind of work because I saw it during my sabbatical, so I was still in that rest mode. But we went for it. We submitted it. I mean, if you watch my previous video, we submitted it like 2 minutes to the deadline, and we got it. And I was like, wow, what if we just said, man, this thing is tomorrow by 8 a.m. It's not possible. Time now is 4 p.m. So don't be too quick to count yourself out. That's something that really stood out to me this year. And in that, it's put yourself forward for opportunities. Also look out for opportunities. I've been saying to people, go on LinkedIn. There's so many RFPs from the UN, the AFDB, Africa Union. Don't say, they don't want to answer people all this, but just if there's one that catches your attention, just apply. There's a fully funded conference somewhere. Don't say, they don't accept young people, they don't accept Nigerians, they don't accept Africans. Just do it, because you might just be the exception. You just never know what you just taking that step to apply will open you up to. So 2024 definitely really taught me to apply, go for it, and not be too quick to count myself out of any opportunity. The second lesson that I learned this year is you don't have to wait for everything to be perfect before you start. There's a place for, okay, you need to have everything that you need, or you want to build a house, for example, you need certain things. But the truth is, I've seen just the ability to use what you have in your hands. And I remember the story of Moses in the Bible, or the encounter of Moses in the Bible. And when the Lord said to him, what is in your hand? And he had that staff. And with that staff, he was able to use, or able to do so many miracles. And it was the same thing with Elijah and the widow of Zarephath, who was about to eat her last meal. And in her mind and in her opinion, that was the end. And what she had was this little meal and little oil. And that oil was multiplied. So there's always something in your hands that I believe that as you're waiting for that big thing, how well are you using what you have in your hands currently? And for me personally, how I saw it is with my YouTube channel. Guys, you won't believe, go back if you have time, to 2022, the very first video that I did, the laptop, the camera was so blurry. Oh my God, but I recorded it like that. I think the first one was like a webinar recording, then the next one was a Zoom one with slides, so it didn't really show. And then shortly after, I got a better laptop. The camera quality wasn't still so great, but I used it as best as I could. I really did stay consistent. Then I got a phone that helped me to capture even better. Then I bought a mic, but I was moving. And now I'm thinking, okay, what else can I do to enhance my video quality and all that? But in the last 2 years, I'm just thinking about the body of work, the things that I've recorded, because there were many reasons why at the time when I started, I couldn't afford a better laptop, I couldn't afford a better phone. But progressively, as I've been going, sometimes I've been gifted a mic, someone gifted me a ring light. But over time, I've just had all the tools. Well, maybe not all the tools, but the tools have been getting better. So the point really is start with what you have and use it to the best of your ability. So you want to get a professional certification, for example, you cannot afford, let's say you want to do the CIPR certification, you can't afford the thousands of pounds that it costs. What can you start with? What courses can you take? What courses can you begin to take right now that won't cost you so much? Even as you begin to work towards your goal, can you begin to leverage books, YouTube channel? There's always a way around achieving whatever goal we have, especially the big goals. I always look at it like this: what is the big picture, and then how do I break it into bite-sized steps so that I'm encouraged that I'm not yet there, but I'm getting closer. Because sometimes it can be very discouraging. If, for example, this year you wanted to take a certification, and if you're in Nigeria, for example, the exchange rate has been really crazy, inflation has been really crazy, and maybe you couldn't really save, and then you get to December and you're deflated. There's no need for that. You should just really think about the baby steps that you are taking towards your goals. And it also ties back to the first point about also not counting yourself out, because if this is the goal that you have, I will be looking for scholarship opportunities, I will be shooting my shots, whatever it is to like make it work. But yeah, really the point of this second lesson is use what you have to the best of your ability. And that is critically important, because I have personally seen that growth and progress, it actually comes with movement. So the people who are thinking and ruminating about an idea or a goal, but they don't move, they find themselves in the same state. But if you see someone who has the idea, who has a goal, but says this is what I have, and begin to make some sort of movement, and I've seen it in a lot of people this year, over the last 2 years, people that had a particular dream, a desire to do something, and I see them 2 years later, 1 year later, the growth and progress that has come out of that movement. So what small steps can you begin to take now towards your dream? And this is particularly important as we go into 2025. The next point, which I already started talking about, is time actually makes a huge difference. I used to say this thing to people: a lot can happen in 1 year. And truly, a lot can happen in 1 year. Some of the things that you want to do, if you just give yourself time, you would actually do it, and you will live in the reality of the dream that you have. So some of you have 2024 goals that you probably just need to give yourself a bit more time to get or achieve that goal. And that's okay, because I don't know why we pressure ourselves. Oh, do this by 30, by 40, you have to be doing this. When you're 25, who is setting all these timelines and milestones anyway? I think one of the greatest lessons that God has taught me is that He is the one that dictates the milestones and the timing of my life. So nobody can come and tell me, oh, you have to do this by 30, you have to do this by 40. Are you my maker and my creator? But yeah, time does make a huge difference. And I see sometimes young professionals putting a lot of burden on themselves. And I have to remind them, I was like, you need to give yourself time. You need to allow yourself time to grow. It's just like if you're baking a cake and baking bread. You know, there's some things you can bake, you chuck it in the oven, and before you know it, it's ready. But there's some things that you're baking, you have to leave it. It takes time. You can't even open like cake. If you open it midway, it's going to fall flat. So you're going to have to just leave it. You're going to have to just trust the process. You're going to have to trust that, okay, this thing is baking, and at the right time, you then open it. You can't open it before. So there's just that benefit. There's just that difference that time actually does make. So what that means is stay consistent. Stay consistent. Like, I have seen the result of consistency. Just saying, I want to go on this path. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to focus on, and do it. Whether people are celebrating you, whether you are acknowledged or not, just be consistent. Be focused on that goal, and then be joyful. I find that there's this destination paralysis. Oh, I wanted to become this. I wanted this job, but you're not enjoying the now. But you're not enjoying the moment. Life in itself is a gift. So yeah, that's a lesson that really stood out to me in 2024. Another lesson is the power of collaboration. I've always been a proponent of collaboration. The work we do at the Comms Avenue, we adopt a very collaborative approach. But in my personal career this year, in my work as a communications advisor, I really saw just the power of collaboration, two heads, and it has to be like-minded people with the same values. Please don't collaborate with the wrong people, it may not end well. But when you find people that share the same values, the same mind, the same approach, it's so sweet, because the opportunities that you can access then become better and even enlarged. So, and I think it's the thing about how God did not create us to be alone or to be in a silo, where it's really supposed to be in community. So really identify professionals in your age group, because I always say this, we forget our peers, we forget that we need to grow together. Yes, look up to the senior guys to mentor you and all that great stuff, but your peers, you don't even know where they're going to be in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So just look at that beauty of growing together, collaborating for opportunities, collaborating to do something professionally together. I really, really believe and know, and I've seen it practically, especially this year, that there is so much power in collaboration. I see people doing things by themselves that if they just collaborate with the right people, there'll be less stress, less pressure, and dare I say, more money. So don't be afraid to explore opportunities together, again, with like-minded professionals that share your values. And finally, enjoy the journey. Too many people are too focused on, oh my God, what I didn't achieve, what I achieved. And December is that month that some people, if you're on Instagram, people will be sharing their wins, you'll be coming tension. Hey. Enjoy the journey. Celebrate all wins. I always say, I celebrate all wins. So give yourself a pat on the back. If your celebration looks like buying ice cream, that's fantastic. If it means that you get your nails done, that's fantastic. If it means that you buy yourself a new pair of shoes or laptop bag, whatever it is, please celebrate your wins and please document. I think maybe another sub lesson that I learned this year is really the power of documentation, just writing. So this year I was intentional about writing down my testimonies, writing down the words that God was speaking to me, writing down the things that I'm proud of, the things that I did really well this year. Because you go back, especially in those moments where you're feeling low, you can go back and read it and you're like, I'm that girl that did that. So yeah, celebrate your wins and don't be too hard on yourself. The things that you may not have achieved this year, it can happen next year. Trust God. I'm also learning not to box God into time. Oh, it didn't happen this year. It can still happen next year. I always tell the testimony of my master's degree that I thought I was going to do it in 2019. I eventually started in 2020 and I graduated in 2021. Not in the way that I thought it would happen, not in the time and in the way that I really thought it would happen, but it happened. I have the degree, and so many things in my life. How God then brought it to life and brought it to pass was greater than I could ever imagine. So don't be too hard on yourself. It's okay if there are things you haven't done this year. It's okay even if it looks like there's a large number of things that haven't happened this year. It's okay. There's 2025. We have life. We go again next year. And so I would just like to wrap up this video by just sharing a few tips as we round up the year and also prepare for the new year professionally. So of course, the first thing is review your goals, review what you did this year. What did you achieve? What wasn't achieved? And please bear in mind that I don't think that there is a cutoff deadline or timeline. Maybe there's some things. So for example, if you wanted to apply for a fellowship and maybe the cutoff age is 35 and now you're 36, maybe you've missed that. But the truth is that there are other fellowships. So I don't put myself in this thing where something begins to steal my joy and like, oh, I didn't get to do this, or I missed this opportunity, and then I now go into this spiral. My mindset is, okay, that opportunity may have gone, but there will be other opportunities, and that opportunity abundance mindset is something that I feel like you should also have. But review your goals, see what you did, see what you didn't do as well as you said you would, or as frequently as you said you would. It's just good to be able to review and do some sort of benchmarking. And then when you do that benchmarking, please look at what you can still do in December, because again, there's this sense of winding down, operations winding down. Your company is probably going to be doing a party very soon, but doesn't mean that you should completely wind down. There may be things that you may still achieve like this year. In fact, I was planning like the last 2 weeks of December, I would just take a retreat and go off social media. But I just thought about it. What if an opportunity comes via LinkedIn on the 24th of December? But because you are not looking at LinkedIn now, you can't quickly respond. So I said, okay, you know what? I will check LinkedIn, a few times, maybe go off Instagram. But the fact is, anything can still happen. The year is not over. And so there just may be a very, very big and pleasant surprise for you. I can't count the number of people that I know that it's the last week of December of the year that they get a very new lucrative job or opportunity. So don't slow down in the sense of, oh, you just say, oh, this wasn't achieved, da 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 da. Look at it, what can still be done this year. Some of it maybe what steps can you even begin to take so that next year you have a softer landing for these goals that you have. By all means, please have a plan for rest and recuperation. Like I just said, I'm planning 2 weeks, last 2 weeks I would really rest. So I'm going to binge watch my Hallmark Christmas movies, Great American movies, series and shows that I've missed on Netflix. I've seen the lineup of Christmas movies on Netflix. I'm just going to take time to rest, binge watch the shows that I like to watch, and just recuperate, go to the spa, do things that bring me joy, make me happy. And yeah, it's important, rest and recuperation. We work hard as comms people, and I know that some of you, December is actually the period when you will be working, so I understand that. So your own rest is probably coming in January, but even at that, still find some time to just have a bit of time for yourself and celebrate the festivities of the season. And finally, define how you want 2025 to go, and don't define it from a standpoint of, oh, I said I'll do this in 2024, it didn't happen, so you know what, I don't care about 2025. I've been there, done that. It's a fresh new year. Go at it with a fresh perspective. Go at it with the belief that all things are possible for you, and see what the Lord truly will do for you, even in the new year. And start laying whatever foundation you need to begin to lay now towards the achievement of those goals next year. So those are the comms lessons that I have learned in 2024, and I chalked in a few tips to help you wrap up the year successfully. I hope that you found it beneficial and valuable. Please give me feedback in the comments, and if you have any questions at all, please feel free to let me know and I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.